Hello everyone, Omar Kazarski, Creative Director of BauerWebSolutions.com. In this video, we're going to show you the basic concepts of adding a post to your WordPress site. So as we've seen in the previous videos, here is just a plain vanilla WordPress site. And just so we can see what a post is from the user standpoint before we create one, let me go to the site here. I'm going to go to the blog section, and you can see I have a running list of articles here on the left hand side. So each of these is a post. So what a post is an entry. You can almost think of a post as an article that is added to your site in chronological order, the most recent articles being posted up on the top, and then subsequent or earlier posts underneath that. And posts will also allow the user to add comments to your articles or posts if you allow them to. And as far as editing or creating an actual post, a lot of the concepts that we'll see in editing a post will carry over when you make a page. All right, so the first thing we need to do as an administrator or someone who has the ability to add content to your WordPress site is log in. And as I mentioned before, depending upon how your WordPress site is configured, the login link might be in different areas. In our case here, in this demo site, it's listed within one of the sidebar widgets in this meta category. So I'm going to click on this link here that says login. And you would log in to the site by putting in your username and password. And assuming that you do have a username and password that has administrative rights, you'll be able to add a post. So how can we add a post? Well, it's one of two ways. I can either A, go up here to the dark gray bar, the login bar, to that little plus symbol, and then I could say new and post, or, which might be easier for you, if we just forget about that for a moment and go here at the left-hand side to the posts category and click on that. I can see all of the posts that are already here. And I have the ability, once I'm in this post sections, to either add a new post by clicking on this new post button up in the top here next to post. It says post, add new. Or here on the left hand side underneath the post category, posts, add new. So I'm going to say add new. And the first thing you want to do in that top field is enter a title. The title is what the headline is going to be. And let me type in something like fall is here. Okay. So then the next thing I need to do is just type my basic concept. The leaves are falling and autumn is here. Now I could write more, but for right now, that's a simple blog posting for us here. Now, if I was to continue to do work, I could save the draft here. If you look here on the right-hand side, saving it as a draft means you're still working on it. You've saved your work, but it's not live on the web here. Same is true for preview. If I just wanted to see what the work that I've done so far, how it actually would look, I could hit preview, but it wouldn't actually make it live to the web. But if, however, what I've done here meets my purposes, say, you know what, I think that's good. I'm going to publish it right here and now. So here on the right hand side, I'm going to click on this publish button, and my post has been published. All right. So if I were to actually view the site right now, if I go here to the top left-hand corner, visit site, and I look at my blog section, the top entry here says fall is here. If I were to click on fall is here, I would see the whole article, which is obviously all of one sentence. But this is a blog posting, so I could talk about my feelings about world government, the economy, what I ate for dinner, and you can see here how by default it will allow people to add a comment. Okay, and again, depending upon how you have your WordPress backend configured, those comments by others might be posted immediately to the site without any intervention from you, or you might have it configured that no one can post a comment until you would review it, which is probably a safer way to go in case someone writes inflammatory or insensitive remarks. It's kind of good to see, just so you as a site owner knows what's going up before people start posting comments. All right. So if I wanted to edit this post further, I can go back and log in and say edit post. And I can, this is a great site. Here within your editor, you have your formatting bar. And initially, your formatting bar will look very simple like this, and you can probably guess if you've had experience with word processing programs like Word or other things. A lot of these features should be easy to figure out. So if I highlight some text here, I have a B here, which can bold said highlighted text or unbold it. I have an I for italics, which will italicize that text, or I could, do bold and italics or any combination of those two. I can create strike through text or not. If I have a couple of paragraphs, say I like apple picking, leaves, Halloween, and everything else about fall. Notice how I have each one of these as a different paragraph. I just typed in my information, hit return or enter. If I highlight these paragraphs, I can then make those paragraphs into an unordered list, which just simply bullets each item and indents them slightly. Or I can make it another type of list, which is known as an ordered list, which puts them in numerical order. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I put my insertion point at the end of that fourth line, hit a return, voila. Since it's an ordered numbered list, it's going to, I'll say harvest time. It automatically puts in next entry there. And if you didn't want it to be an unordered list or an ordered list, you just highlight those and click on the corresponding listing feature, and then it's back to regular text. Okay. So a lot of these, if I wanted to indent one of my lines here, I can make it a block quote or not, and I can change the alignment, make it left, centered, flush right. And if I wanted to create a link, I could type in the information here. Let's say I wanted the words, the leave or fallen, to be a hyperlink. I can highlight those words, click on that little link button, and if I'm linking to another website altogether, I can put in that web address, or what's known as URL, Uniform Resource Locator. If I'm going to point to somebody else's website, it has to begin with http:// and then whatever the rest of the web address is, www.cnn.com or whatever the case is. And if I wanted to give it a title, meaning when you hover your mouse over it, sometimes when you hover your mouse over links within certain web pages, you might see a little like yellow pop-up note appear. That's what the title is. And if you wanted that link to open up in a new browser window or tab, you can click on that choice there. So the top area deals with information if you wanted the link you're about to create to go to some other website. If, however, you want it to go to one of your blog postings or one of your pages, you can search it within the list here, or actually just type within the search area here. So if I wanted to have that go to the About page, I could type that in, and it finds that About page. And I'll click that. It adds that information to the URL, and I click Add Link. So before I leave this page, let me update it. Make sure that those changes are saved. And now I'm going to view the post. I can do this right up here. So I see my post listing here, and if I click on this link here, the leaves are falling, it brings me to the About page. All right. So I'll go back and I can now edit this post. So if I wanted to get rid of a link that was in one of my posts, I can highlight it and click on this little button here to unlink that text. All right. And you have an area to add an insert more tag, which just simply allow you, if you have like large content, it allows you to scroll down and see more of the content. You can experiment with that if you'd like. The next button there is the full screen mode. Basically kind of puts everything, kind of gets rid of all the extra fluff and just gives you the really core stuff. But then to get back, you'll notice here there's an exit full screen link here in the top left hand corner. I can just click on that and go back to the regular interface here. You then have this other icon here, show and hide kitchen sink. Okay, this other icon here we're going to talk about later, this insert short codes, is not part of standard WordPress. That's a separate add-on that we'll talk about in a separate video. But this little button here, the show or hide kitchen sink, is part of every standard WordPress installation. So clicking on that gives you additional features here as far as headings. So you can have headings for your different introductory paragraphs or subsections there, which is important for SEO. I can highlight some text. If I wanted to highlight this and make it underline, I can click that little U icon. Please do yourself a favor. Don't use the underline feature, and I'll tell you why. In our society, we're conditioned, and these days from birth, that whenever we see an underlined phrase on a website, it's usually an indication that it's a link to another page. So in this day and age, when people see something that's underlined and they click on it and it doesn't work, in this case because it's not a hyperlink, it's just underlined text, people think the site is broken or they get frustrated and they leave. So don't confuse or frustrate your viewers. Do yourself a favor, don't use the underline feature. Okay? If, however, I wanted to make a paragraph fully justified, that is to say flush left and flush right, I can use the justified or align full option here. If I wanted to colorize some of my text a different color, I can do this here with the text color feature. If I'm copying text that I've written in another program, there are two important buttons here. So if I have something on my clipboard, as I believe I do now, I could click on the paste as plain text icon and either Control V using that keyboard combination on the PC or Windows-based machines, or Command V on the Mac to paste that information in. All right. It comes more into play when you're taking content from Microsoft Word. When you write content in Microsoft Word and you want to bring it into WordPress, you might just think, all right, I'll just select everything in the Word document, go in here to my browser in WordPress, and paste. In theory, that should work, but unfortunately, Microsoft Word in particular creates a lot of extra code that's really not necessary. So if you are going to migrate content from a Word document into one of your WordPress pages or posts, it's in your advantage to click on this link here that says paste from Word. So what you would do is you would first go into Microsoft Word, select all of the text within that Word document you want to put into WordPress, switch to the WordPress browser page, then click on that link for paste from Word. Then you're going to then paste in this little window here, and then finally insert. Okay? And then that will get rid of all of the extraneous coding content that might cause you problems later on. All right? As you're editing within WordPress, you could always click on this little icon here that will undo the last thing that you did, which is also kind of handy as well. If I needed to, if I had some formatting that was applied and I wanted to remove it, I can click on this little eraser icon. And let's say that I needed to add a special symbol like a trademark or a registered symbol, something of that that sort. If I click on this little icon here, this omega symbol, I can then look for the particular character that I want, like this copyright symbol, and then click on it and it adds it to your post there. Okay? If I had a paragraph I needed to indent, like maybe I want to indent these, I'll say I'm going to indent these 3 paragraphs here. I can use this indent feature, or I can outdent those. All right? And in our next video, I will show you how to add a picture to your post here, as well as dealing with revisions in this new version of WordPress. Okay, so thanks for watching, and if you have any questions about WordPress or your WordPress site, please contact us at Bauer Web Solutions at www.bauerwebsolutions.com. Thanks for watching.